Arnold Schwarzenegger was the governor of California. He was a Republican, but he was also married to a Kennedy. And so Arnold, I think, exemplifies what it means to be a pragmatic centrist. He also exhibits what I believe it means to be a real man. Here's part 3 of Arnold's speech on anti-Semitism. Please give it a watch and share around.
I want to talk to you today about the rising hate and anti-Semitism we've seen all over the world. You know, a few months ago, I toured Auschwitz, the Nazi concentration camp, where 1.1 million men, women, and children lost their lives. Almost all of them were ruthlessly murdered simply because they were Jewish. When you walk through a place like Auschwitz, you feel a tremendous weight. There are reminders everywhere of the horrors that happened there. The suitcases never claimed by the prisoners, who were told to remember exactly where they left their belongings so they could retrieve them after they were finished with their showers. The shoes and the gold teeth and the hair that were taken from the murdered to be reused by the murderers to fund their evil. The log books with thousands of names crossed out as if a cruel accountant only measured death. The gas chambers with scratches on the walls from the fingernails of people who tried to hold on to life. The crematorium, where the Nazis tried to erase all of their atrocities. Let me tell you something. The weight on your back hits you at the very beginning heavier than any squat I've ever done. And it never goes away. It's the feeling of history, of millions of voices that were silenced decades ago, begging you, not to just look at their shoes, but to spend a few hours in them, to imagine you were there. Because once you imagined that you arrived on that train, and you were sorted into those lines, and you smelled the smoke that didn't smell like any wood you've ever burned before, and you never saw your families coming out of those showers, and then you worked your butt off while getting almost nothing to eat, until you looked more like a ghost than a person. And then when you couldn't work anymore, and they considered you useless, they sent you to the showers too. Once you've spent the time to really think about all of those things, then your imagination has no choice but to start the real work. How do we stop this from ever happening again?